All right, welcome back to the admin study room. Today, we're jumping into a huge topic for the MD-102 exam, managing endpoint security. We're going to break down all the key tools, but more importantly, we're going to build the right mindset to help you nail those scenario-based questions. Okay, before we get started, we've got to cover the important stuff. This is an independent, unofficial MD-102 study presentation based on Microsoft's public Learn content and run by AI hosts. It is not affiliated with, authorized, sponsored, or approved by Microsoft. Always verify important details against the latest Microsoft documentation. So let's get right to the heart of it, because this one question, it basically defines how you should study for this part of the exam. What do you think is more important? Knowing every single setting for every feature, or knowing exactly which tool to grab for a specific problem? I'll tell you right now, the exam is all about the second one. It's the whole game, applying the right control to the right situation. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Getting into that endpoint security mindset. It's not about memorizing a giant, boring list of features. No way. It's about seeing all these security controls as an awesome toolkit. Your job, as the admin, is to look at a security problem and know instinctively which tool to pull out to fix it. So what exactly is in this toolkit? Well, let's take a peek. We've got our foundational stuff, the essentials, like antivirus and firewall policies. Then, we're going to level up to more proactive defenses, things like attack surface reduction and security baselines. And finally, we'll get into the really powerful stuff, gaining advanced visibility with Defender for Endpoint and wrapping it all up with the critical task of managing updates. That's our roadmap. Okay, first things first, we've got to build a solid foundation. These next 3 policies, they are the absolute bedrock of your endpoint protection strategy. I like to think of them as the non-negotiables for any environment you're managing. First up, your antivirus policy. Think of this as the guard at the gate. Its job is to spot and stop known bad guys, malware, from ever getting in. And with Intune, you're not just hiring the guard, you're writing their rule book. You get to tell it exactly how to behave, how often to scan, whether to use cloud intelligence to spot the latest threats, and how to protect the device in real time. If you see a scenario about stopping malicious files, this is your go-to. Next up, the firewall. If antivirus is the guard at the gate, the firewall is the strict bouncer at the club door. It's meticulously checking IDs for every single bit of network traffic trying to get in or out of your device. A well-configured firewall drastically shrinks the chances of a network-based attack. So if a question mentions blocking a specific port or stopping an app from phoning home, you know you're reaching for the firewall policy. And the third pillar of our foundation, BitLocker. This one's a lifesaver. It's simple, but absolutely critical. It scrambles all the data on the entire hard drive. So imagine a user leaves their laptop in a taxi. Total panic, right? Well, with BitLocker, that panic turns into just an inconvenience. Even if someone gets the physical device, the data is just unreadable garbage without the right key. Now, this is super important, so lean in for a second. There's another player you might hear about called EFS, or Encrypting File System, and it's easy to get them mixed up. Here's the difference in a nutshell. BitLocker locks the entire house. EFS is like putting a single document in a small safe inside that house. For any exam scenario about a lost or stolen laptop, the top priority is protecting everything on it. That makes BitLocker your number one answer, every time. All right, our foundation is solid, but we can't just sit around and wait for attacks, right? We need to be proactive. It's time to go on the offensive, to harden our devices and make them genuinely tough targets from the very beginning. And our first tool for this is Attack Surface Reduction, or ASR. This is so cool. Instead of just looking for bad files, ASR looks for bad behavior. It's a set of rules that block the common tricks malware loves to use. You know that sketchy email attachment? With an ASR rule, you can say, hey, a Word document should never ever be trying to launch a PowerShell script. Blocked. It's about stopping attacks before they can even start. So ASR is powerful, but you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of devices. How do you make sure they're all configured securely and, just as important, consistently? Doing that one by one would be a nightmare. That's where security baselines come in. Think of this as your easy button for security. It's a prepackaged bundle of Microsoft's expert-recommended settings that you can roll out in just a few clicks. And this right here, this is the whole point. Standardize and quickly are the magic words. A baseline isn't for tweaking one tiny specific setting. It's for when you need to get a strong, consistent, and secure configuration rolled out across the board, and you need to do it fast. If a question is about ensuring new devices are secure from day one, baselines are the answer. Okay, so our defenses are up, our devices are hardened, we're in a good spot. But what about the really sneaky stuff? The advanced threats that are designed to tiptoe right past our frontline defenses. For that, we need to turn on the floodlights and get some serious visibility. And that's where Microsoft Defender for Endpoint shines. Now, please, please, please do not think of this as just better antivirus. It's not. It's a completely different category. If your regular antivirus is a security camera at the front door, Defender for Endpoint is a full-blown security operations center with cameras in every room, motion detectors, and guards patrolling the hallways 24/7. It's all about detection and response. Okay, another huge point that can easily trip you up: integration versus onboarding. They sound similar, but they are worlds apart. Think of it this way. Integration is like building a bridge between two cities, Intune and Defender. That's a great first step. But onboarding is the process of actually sending the cars, your devices, across that bridge to get protected. You can have a beautiful empty bridge, but it does you absolutely no good until the devices are onboarded and start sending data. Let's switch gears to something that sometimes feels like a boring admin chore, but is actually one of your most powerful security weapons: updates. Seriously, every day you delay applying a critical security patch, you're leaving a window wide open for an attacker to just crawl right through. Keeping devices updated is non-negotiable. And you can't just blast out updates to everyone at once and hope for the best. That's a recipe for disaster. You need a strategy, a life cycle. In Intune, we do this with what are called update rings. It's a phased rollout. You give the update to a small, brave group first. That's your pilot ring. You watch, you wait, you see if anything breaks. If it's all good, then you can confidently roll it out to the broad ring, which is everybody else. Then, of course, you monitor the whole thing. Now picture this. You've got a branch office with 100 computers and a not-so-great internet connection. You push out a big Windows update. What happens? 100 machines all try to download the same massive file at the same time, and your network just grinds to a halt. Delivery optimization is the incredibly smart fix for this. It turns your devices into a little peer-to-peer network, where one device downloads the update from the internet and then shares it locally with all its neighbors. It's a total game changer for bandwidth. Okay, deep breath. We have gone through all the major tools in our security toolkit. Now let's bring it all home. Because remember what we said at the very beginning? The whole game, the secret to success, is about picking the right tool for the right job. This right here, this is the cheat sheet. This is the mental model you want burned into your brain for the exam. If the question mentions malware, boom, you're thinking antivirus or ASR. It talks about a stolen laptop, your brain should immediately scream BitLocker. A weird network attack? Firewall. The phrase inconsistent settings? Security baselines. Lack of visibility? That's Defender for Endpoint onboarding. And if they mention a slow network during updates, it's delivery optimization. Master this mapping and you'll be in great shape. All right, one last tip before we wrap this up. As you study, you're going to see other terms floating around, like Windows Information Protection, or WIP, and that EFS thing we talked about. And yeah, it's good to know what they are, but look, your study time is precious. Focus on the big rocks, the core tools we covered today. They are the absolute center of gravity for endpoint security on this exam. So, that's the framework. It's not about just memorizing facts. It's about building an instinct. The next time you read a practice question or face a real-world problem, stop for a second. Think like an admin, look at your toolkit, analyze the situation, and ask yourself that one simple question. Now, which tool will you reach for? Thanks for joining us.